voice of the Cincinnati Reds, and you're up for Late Night Reds Talk.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Daniel, and welcome to another fantastic edition of Late Night Reds Talk, and this time, a combo cast with the boys from Pardon the Punctuation. Late Night Reds Talk, the live show and podcast that loves the Cincinnati Reds, part of the BLEAV Network, presented as always by BetOnline. The show is live streamed on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and the podcast version is always up the next morning. I am, as always, joined by Nick Kirby, Carlos Guevara, and of course here with our guy, Clay Snowden. But before we get started and talk about the show, let me tell you guys all about BetOnline. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contest events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today to use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV, BLEAV 50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Well, now that we got that mouthful off the way, we got a lot of people here. This is kind of Brady Bunch-y here on the screen. If you're tuning in, it's kind of could be a cluster, but it's going to be fun. One thing's for sure. So as I mentioned, we have the LNRT crew here. That does not stand for late night retweets. You're not funny when you say that, but we do have the Pardon the Punctuation guys here as well. Jeff, Aaron, and Big Ed himself. Welcome, guys. How we doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us on.
I just want to say welcome back for the first time.
I just want to say, Aaron, can you do an intro like his?
I'm not the producer.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not either.
Shots fired.
Yeah. All right. Well, dudes, we got a lot of people here. Like I said, we got lots of talking to do. We got Field of Dreams game tomorrow. We got throwback jerseys. If you listen to this show, you know how much I'm a sucker for throwback jerseys. And I'm not talking about the kind of the one that Jeff's wearing. I am talking about actual vintage Reds era jerseys. But let's kind of talk a little bit. Obviously, just coming off the sweep of the Mets, no one's going to be, it's the Mets. They're pretty damn good. Probably, you can make the case the best team in the National League. But obviously, we know the Reds have done all these moves. They made all these trades. We're kind of moving on now, blah, blah, blah. We talked about that forever. Kind of get the PTP guys' thoughts here. Where you guys think the Reds are at currently as we look to move forward to the future of this franchise?
I think that they're setting themselves up well. I mean, if you look at kind of like who they went after and the guys that they're stockpiling, obviously, like everybody's like, oh, you can't play 87 shortstops on the field at the same time. But when you look at guys that came up, typically you're better ball players on your little league teams, and the teams is like they all start off as shortstops, like everybody that's good, and you got to find a spot for them whenever they get up here to the major leagues. And to go from being a team that has like kind of targeted these like maybe like home run hitters, like your big first baseman, big whatever, they can hit home runs, have some guys that can spray the ball all over the field. I like that.
I know I'm encouraged by the fact that Riding Rosters just dropped Volume 2 on MLB The Show, and there are way more potential A's on the Reds roster right now than there were, a week ago. So, I'm definitely encouraged by it's not just us as homers believing that the Reds have put something together for the future.
I think we're going to the World Series.
Hell yeah.
Well, I gotta get used to being muted. I like the energy, Big Ed. I like it.
Thank you.
I don't know if any of us necessarily are there just yet, but I sure should hope so.
Better get there.
Yeah.
I called it first.
You did. Absolutely. So, Clay, obviously, we've had you on for weeks now. talking about all this jazz of Reds news and talks and stuff like that. Where are you now, especially now we've got some of these guys a week in of playing some games?
Does Ed have something in his throat? I don't know if you all picked up on that. It sounded like he was about to die. Take it easy there, Ed. First off, thanks for having me on. And I think Jeff's jersey is awesome. It's a number 27 jersey, which means Jake Fraley or Jeff Keppinger. I'm sure those are the only two options. I'm sure it's not somebody who we, don't talk about anymore. But
Matt
I
Kemp?
love where the Reds are right now. I mean, in terms of the future, I don't love where they are like today. Their team sucks. And it's kind of difficult to watch at times. I'm just glad that they're out of New York. The future's looking bright, and I know that I've texted with some people that know a lot more than me about baseball and minor league baseball, and they're pretty high on the return as well. But we're gonna wait and see how it goes. I'm not too worried about the positions like Jeff touched on. That always plays itself out. And at the end of the day, as disgusting as it sounds, these prospects are assets. You can trade them again. And if you need a left fielder, you don't necessarily have to move one there. You can trade one for a left fielder if they so choose. So they're just becoming more multiple, and I like to see that.
Yeah, I think the Reds traded a top prospect for a Cy Young winner. Was that right, Jeff?
Correct.
Yeah.
He who must not be named. It's like Voldemort.
Yeah, it falls in that category, I guess.
We talk about Trevor Bauer. Is that what we're talking about? Trevor Bauer? Are we talking about Trevor Bauer? I wasn't sure. I just want to make sure I was on the
Why
same
does
page.
your head pop up from like nowhere and then
I'm
you
trying
just,
to fix it.
disappear again?
I'm trying to fix it. I'm sorry.
Ed brings the whole fan club with him. This is incredible. I
Yeah.
love it. Or it's his burner on YouTube. Also
Never
fun.
roll that out.
Hey,
I don't have a burner.
it's funny because I was on Pardon the Punctuation not too long ago, I believe deadline day. And for the time being, it was only Ed and I. And believe it or not, Ed had all kinds of prospect breakdowns and details on Spencer Strider and Christian Encarnacion Strand. So, Ed, can you tell us a little bit about which prospect was your favorite of the return?
I'm a big fan of that guy that plays guitar.
You're talking about
Arroyo, that guy. Yeah. Needs to be a good one. Thanks, Clay.
I guess I'm sorry I missed that episode. I wasn't understand if that was an insider or not. I apologize.
No, Clay's just trying to put me on the spot. That's all.
Yeah,
and the guys don't want to talk up because they didn't want to make it to last week's show. So that's fine.
Clay was just pointing out that Ed doesn't know anything about any of the prospects. We're all impressed that he got even the connection with the Arroyo. But yeah,
I know that one guy hit 2 home runs the other night in Dayton.
that one guy.
Yeah.
Noel V. Marte?
That's him.
I got you.
I see Carlos. Like, if I hear one more prospect conversation, I'm going to lose my shit.
I was actually just going to ask Carlos what his thoughts on all the prospects were.
Whatever.
Oh, hey, is Brendel here?
He tunes into us.
He loves my content.
Nice. Yeah, very nice. All right. Well, I guess, does that take out the Ellie De La Cruz conversation then, since Ed doesn't know too much about the prospects?
I'm sure.
Probably for him, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
maybe
is
for
there
him.
anybody that's more of like
So you
a
guys could
been a
talk about
human
him.
highlight reel than Ellie De La Cruz in the last like couple weeks?
No, he's just incredible to watch. I mean, it does something every night that just is it. I don't know. Just
Maybe it's just because like the only thing I see from him are the highlights that pop up. But he at least seems like he's bucking the trend of Reds that don't know how to run the bases. So that's also encouraging. The triple that he then turned the lazy flip of the ball back into the infield into taking home on that was, I think it was like was it the end of last week? you familiar with the play I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, like, do we have anybody right now that you would feel comfortable with, like, make that smart decision, or will wait till the ball, lands in the third baseman's glove and then decides to take off? Like, we've had issues with Reds players not running the bases well, and I don't know, it's probably as long as I've been alive, to see somebody that kind of takes the initiative there with the aggressive base running. I'm all about it. And I know I tweeted about it last week when I think Senzel got thrown out going to third, and everybody's like jumping my case about about making the third out at going into third.
I'm used to seeing the Reds run the bases like the Yankees did against Seattle. Was that yesterday? Today? Like, I'm used to that, and that gave me PTSD just watching that replay of like the double play.
Back to back innings, they only got 2 batters up. How is that even possible? But no, I mean, Clay could speak to this more than me, because I know Clay's watched a lot more like full games of Ellie De La Cruz, but it's not like just the highlights. It's every single time he's at the plate, he is running 110% on everything. He is always trying to get an extra base. Just so many of his doubles are like singles for fast players, like not normal players. Like, it just the amount of extra bases that he takes is just it's unbelievable.
Yeah, he sometimes plays like borderline out of control. It's kind of like a doe, like a baby deer trying to run at times.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, but I think in the beginning of the year I was watching a game and I paused and took a picture of it because I caught my eye. It was so ridiculous. He was turning second and was just past second base, maybe 2 feet past second base, and the cutoff man had the ball in his glove and got thrown out at third. What looked like it would have been a mile, but it was like bang, bang. That's just like the ridiculous speed that he has. He does have some swing and miss in his game. And I know everyone's just like chomping at the bit to get him called up, but take your time. You don't want to ruin what is looking like a superstar potential. We'll see what he is once he gets to the show. I don't want to call him anything that, too absurd right now, but I think there's a chance next year in September. I would rather just let it play out instead of predict, but 2024, he should be up almost guaranteed by then. It's pretty rare. What you see from him, it does not happen often. The way that he can hit the ball, and that one that he hit 513 feet at 117 miles per hour is John Carlos Stanton type numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think, last year he struggled a lot in September, so let's see how he finishes the year at Double-A, see where he's at. But, I mean, if he comes to camp and he's tearing it up, and, I don't think it has to be, like, September next year. I mean, I think it could be May, June, whenever. I think it could be quick. But, again, let's see. He's probably going to slump at some point. That's normal, and that won't be weird. That won't be he's not progressing. That's pretty normal for players to have some slumps as they kind of work their way through the system.
Do you guys see, like, obviously 2023 is not like the target year, right? So you've got at least another year where we're not, like, they shouldn't feel pressed to move guys up quicker than they need to be. Give guys the time to develop where they're at. Obviously if they get promoted one spot to the next, that is what it is. But I think having the luxury of keeping them in the minor leagues to develop as young players could end up when this rebuild turns into okay, now we're going to be here to compete and we're going to limit these peaks and valleys. Having a stock farm system helps, but being able to give them the time in the farm system to develop and work on the parts of their game that they need to work on, I think is huge for the direction of the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they need to, rush anyone by any means. I don't think they need to like hold guys back either, though. I mean, because a lot of these players, it's going to take them some time to develop at the big league level too once they get here and adjust. Not everyone's going to come up and like just hit the ground running like Jonathan India did last year. You're going to see a lot more, like guys like Jose Barrero this year, or guys that take a little bit of time to to get going. Even like Julio Rodriguez, was awful the first 3 weeks of the season this year, and there's been a lot of other really, really good prospects that seem like can't miss, that it's taken them a long time to get going. So when they're ready, get them up, because there's no guarantee how quick they're gonna adjust.
Yeah, Mike Trout slumped quite a bit for the first couple weeks of his big league career, and I guess he ended up pretty good.
Even if you look across the league at any rookie, you see some come up and immediately they're awesome. Nolan Jones came up this year for Cleveland and tore the cover off the ball for a week, and they get some film on you. They figure out where your holes are, and I know Carlos can speak on that. Pitchers can adjust pretty quickly at that level. So I think it's almost guaranteed that every rookie will go through a tough spout. It's just more about the learning experience, which 2023 is. And I know we all talk about 2024 like it's some golden year. It's really, in my opinion, just the first year of kind of the positive movement, kind of like what we saw in Seattle last year, Baltimore this year, of kind of the brighter days are ahead. It doesn't mean that they're going to be awesome. It doesn't mean they'll even make the playoffs. It just is a little bit of, okay, these players that we've heard about for 2 or 3 years in the minors are finally here. We're starting to see why there's some hype. It's the beginning of the momentum. As you know, it usually takes a while for players to get at or near their peak. So I think that 2023 is going to be kind of similar to the ball that we've seen this year since that 3-20 whatever start. Since then, kind of that closer to 500 ball, closer to, not bad, not good, just kind of there. And then 2024 will be a year where we start seeing some positive momentum, and it's really probably like that 2025 through 27 or 28 window that's going to be the most exciting window, hopefully, that we've seen in a while in Cincinnati, which just sucks thinking we're talking about something 4 or 5 years down the road. I can see Carlos just like thinking, man, I hate this. But at least he has his Padres and his freaking Juan Soto's and Tatis coming back, right, Carlos?
That I do have, buddy. That I do have.
Yeah, the Padres will be rebuilding right around the time the Reds are getting cooking.
I mean, they will be rebuilding from trying, at least, not just from another rebuild.
And they have one of the dopest sets of the City Connect uniforms that have been.
There's a lot of dope things going on down the West Coast, guys. We can talk about that if y'all want.
What's going on the West Coast?
More of a Chattanooga Lookouts kind of guy.
Samesies.
I don't go to Chattanooga. That's where I got COVID.
They're getting a new stadium, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Who, Chattanooga is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should read the news, Ed.
I do read the news. Didn't their team just get like busted for money smuggling or some stuff like that? Okay, never mind.
Ed, are you making things up now?
Not that I heard. I mean,
What the? Be a lot cooler if they did.
it feels like the Simpsons.
Take it away,
episode
Nick.
When Mr. Burns is like getting all the major league players to be on the company's softball team.
Ed just came out and dropped like a bomb of an
I was
accusation
gonna say.
on an entire organization and then muted himself.
Got it. August 23rd,
Got it.
2021. Judge freezes assets of Lookout's minority owner accused in massive Ponzi scheme. That's coming from 9 News.
Huh.
That's old news. They already got money. They're funded.
It was updated on August 24th.
Last year.
Well, August 24th does not happen yet this year by the calendar standards.
So a year ago, they got busted.
That went right over my head. I never knew that
Just a
happened.
hurdle, and it was just a hurdle.
I keep up with the minor leagues pretty well, so maybe a little bit better than Clay.
Well, thanks for the breaking news, Ed. What about Encarnacion Strand? Clay, you want to talk about him? Either Aaron or Jeff, you got anything to add about Encarnacion Strand? I know he's kind of not been ranked super high on the prospect list, but I'm assuming that's more just position wise than his bat, because I think his bat play is about as good as anyone the Reds added.
More than anything.
And that's exactly what you see on a lot of these prospect lists. You don't often see a first baseman ranked very high. I know he's played a lot of third too, but he's probably profiles as a first base DH. Those players typically don't have the positional value to skyrocket up boards, but this is a guy who hit 1100 OPS in college and just barely under 1,000 through the minors. And what we've seen since he's come over to the Reds organization, it's just more of the same. He has a lot of power. He's already 22 years old, so it's not like he's one of these 19-year-olds that, could use a little bit more time. Being a first baseman, he doesn't have to worry as much about kind of learning the intricacies of shortstop or whatnot as he climbs up the ranks. And worst case scenario, this is somebody who they could plug in at DH next year if they wanted to at some point and just see what happens if he continues hitting like this. So he's definitely a good piece, and a piece that I think a lot of people thought was not misranked, but when you come out of college as a kind of a third baseman, first baseman, and you don't have much minor league experience, you're not going to get ranked as high unless you're a really high draft pick. So you already saw the rankings kind of alter, and rankings at this point don't really matter. You could argue they don't matter at all. I know some people will say that, Carlos. And you could see when he changed organizations. He went from 23rd in Minnesota's organization, which is weaker than the Reds. And when he came over, he was moved to 17th. And that was from Pipeline. And I have the numbers here from Baseball America. And they have him ranked, let's see here. I think they have him ranked, 16, right behind Connor Phillips and right ahead of Jay Allen, actually, who's 17th. And those were, I believe, recently updated.
More than anything, I'm just excited to see his last name on the back of a jersey and how the hell that even works. Like,
Strange Gordon.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander style, how it's just like a rainbow,
full semicircle, right? Like,
yeah,
just obscene. If he has a 2-digit number that's a little wider, doesn't have like a 1 in it or something, it might be even more difficult. Like 88, what are we doing?
Well, I think about like Dave Concepcion, his jersey kind of had like the arch, if you like looked at those pictures. So, and he has a double-digit number as well. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It could be very interesting.
Yeah, he has some really, really good at bats. I mean, every time, every at bat I've seen, he's working the count. He really knows what he's doing up there. So yeah, I think he'll fly through the system like Clay said. I wouldn't be shocked if he is it makes his debut at some point next year. Yeah, I'm really excited about him.
I mean, he's gonna have to, if he makes it through camp as a first baseman, he'll probably slot right behind like Tyler Stevenson at first base. Is that right, Nick?
And you're kicked out of here. All right. Thanks for coming, Jeff.
Round the horn boot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we like deduct points?
I don't have any control on this one.
Jeff said -10.
-10. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so I wanted to bring this up because I know, like I said, the Mets series just ended, and like Clay said, thank God the Reds left New York. But last night there was a very interesting situation that happened at a game where fan favorite Jose Barrero was benched and taken out of the game, and I got a nice text from Nick and Carlos expressing their frustrations from that, and I had a good laugh at it when I woke up this morning and saw it, because you guys know I don't know how to stay up past 10 o'clock apparently. But wanted to get your guys' 2 thoughts on that. Maybe if the PTP dudes want to jump in as well. But taking Jose Barrero out for Alejo Lopez last night in the Mets game, for a guy who needs a lot of major league at bats, and you're kind of planning to be your quote unquote future, seems pretty strange move to be in my eyes.
I don't know. I think it could also work like kind of. I saw I believe it was Carlos was unhappy with it. But I can see like, yeah, you want to be able to like, milk as many at bats out of the end of this season as you can. But maybe it's also like kind of a wake up call for him. Some guys need that. Hey, you're not. What was he like? Yeah, he struck out 4 times like 2 nights ago, and then I think he struck out like 3 times last night. So maybe hey, look, we're gonna get this. We're gonna bring in Alejo Lopez, who is a good dude. I like him. I know he's one of Clay's favorites. And if you want to just go by the batting average barometer, he does have a higher career batting average in the minors and in Major League Baseball. So,
and less extra base hits.
So you know what? Hey, all you need there is the ball in play, and if you're swinging at every slider that's 8 feet off the plate in the dirt, maybe today is the day that you get to see the bench, because it really doesn't matter if we win or lose this game. But this is something that, hey, sit down over there. That could be you if you learn to change your approach.
There's nothing more I want to see than Alejo Lopez passing the baton to Austin Romine to keep the game moving with Edwin Diaz warming up. That's just, I mean, that's what I dream of right there.
Yeah, and Nick had messaged me about it. And Nick, I hope you don't mind me saying, he was rather frustrated. And I just kind of gave him like, dude, I just can't get emotionally moved by this at all. Like, I just don't care about that move because, to be honest with you, you're replacing a player who's playing at a D level, maybe a D plus, with a player that's playing at a D or D minus level. Like, and like you said, like, we're not talking about a team winning anything here. To me, I had not really thought about that, Jeff, but that's actually a great point. Like, those at bats that Jose Barrero put together were just not competitive at all. I think he struck out twice on a total of 6 pitches. In that last one, in that second at bat, and I know it probably looked different coming out of the hand, but that ended up way out of the zone and in the dirt. Like, just not competitive at bats. And I'm not, it sucks that the way that they've kind of used him so far with bringing him up in 2020 and then 2021 and changing positions and his injury, like, it hasn't gone to plan. And I do want him to get more at bats, the majority of the at bats. But if that's how you do a wake up call for a young player, like, I'm not that concerned about it. It's not like the team is battling for a playoff spot and, they decided to do something drastic. In that moment, it did seem a little odd, but overall, I mean, it just, I don't really get that emotional about the move. By the way, OJ's 94 Bronco, great name in the comments here, is having himself a field day if anyone's looking at the comments.
No, I don't understand the move. It really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, especially with, the night before, 2 nights before, when Hunter Strickland's giving up the house and he's, going to bat for him, saying, we're going to ride with him. We're going to get him through this. For what? This guy's not going to be here next year. Jose Barrero's going to be here next year. You don't sit a guy who you just brought up 10 days ago because he's struggling, because he got 3 strikeouts the wrong game. He just hit 2 home runs in a game the other day. Like, that's what you needed at that moment. It was a home run. You didn't need a 37 infield dribbler through the hole for a base hit to drive in 1 run right there with a Romine on deck. You needed a chance of pop. It just, to me, the message being sent by Bell right there really didn't do much. It's really not anything in the grand scheme of things, but it's kind of like the direction that they're going. I mean, they finally made the move. They moved Kyle Farmer to third base. So they're basically saying, okay, here, Jose, it's yours to take. But then as soon as he struggles, like, you sit him down in an opportunity in a lost season. Like, that's how you learn.
Yeah, I don't really think it helped to better the chances of the Reds winning last night. And I don't know, I would have rather seen them just, give Barrero a shot, boost him some confidence. I mean, I'll acknowledge, maybe there's a sports psychologist angle to this where, you're trying to motivate Barrero. Seems like a stretch to me. I don't really care about Hunter Strickland at this point. Like, it doesn't, wins and losses don't matter to me really at all. I just want to see individual guys perform well. Alexis Diaz is the only pitcher really worth a damn in the bullpen right now, and he's facing the best batters in the lineup. So really, you're just arranging the deck chairs in the bullpen, in my opinion. I don't know. And maybe they're like, hey, these guys all stink. Let's let Hunter Strickland get the blown saves, and as opposed to a younger guy that might, hurt his confidence or something. So I don't know. I didn't like the Barrera move though. I'm
more of like an Ian Gibaut kind of guy. I think Ian Gibaut is just fantastic.
If this would have been 2 weeks from now and Barrero's still struggling and something like that, then okay, I can see it. But they just brought him up.
Yeah.
It's really quick to teach him a lesson. He already learned his lesson last year when he probably thought he was going to get a whole lot more playing time than he did, and he didn't. So I'm pretty sure his lesson's learned, and he knows he has to go and capture this because he's not dumb. He knows who's behind him, who's coming for his job.
And you called him up, and he's not even hitting that well at AAA. So it's not like you've really taught him a lesson, I don't know. I didn't like the move. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and like act like this is the end of the world or this is gonna mess up.
It's just something to talk about because there ain't shit else to talk about.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm less concerned about the move as much as I don't like the move. I'm less concerned about that and more concerned about why we haven't DFA'd Hunter Strickland, haven't DFA'd Mike Minor, haven't DFA'd Moose. Like, get them all out of here. Get the bats, get the pitchers up here to just get the experience at the big league level. Like, at this point, none of these dudes are doing anything for you. If you're not going to trade them, you're not going to get anything for them. Even Kyle Farmer, DFA, who cares? Like, for what? What do we need him for? I'm saying it. I don't care.
I mean, you can't just hand out DFAs. I don't think it really works that way there, Aaron. It's not Oprah where it's like, you get a DFA, and you get a DFA, and you get a DFA, and it doesn't work that way.
Sure, why not? You got to pay him. Either way, you got to pay him. Why you got to pay him to take horrible at-bats?
You have to have people to fill a roster.
Yeah, bring little guys up.
Aaron wants them to go down.
There's no little guys in the minor league.
Aaron, you did not watch the game today, did you? Did you watch the poor kid try to pitch today?
Oh.
You want two of those guys up here?
I have a 3-week-old. Of course, I didn't watch this Reds team.
Okay, well, you have to go through. If you really want Mike Minor DFA, you got to watch today's game and say, I want two of those guys in the rotation because that's what you're going to get.
Can we DFA Ed?
No, I didn't watch today's game, but about today's game, if Joey Votto leans into a pitch and gets hit by a pitch, it's legal.
It was legal. Did you see that? He leaned in big as shit into that pitch. Like, okay, I guess it was maybe still outside the strike zone, but he leaned a good 3-4 inches and dipped the elbow down and took it right on the back of the tricep.
Joey Votto invented baseball, so it's fine. Yeah. Some people think it was Dr. James Naismith, but it wasn't. It was Joey Votto.
All right. Before I forget about this comment here, my guy OJ's 94 Bronco really just wants Clay's opinion on Deck McGuire. So, Clay, the floor is yours. Please tell us about Deck McGuire and why he's the next Cy Young winner.
I'm sorry, OJ, but McGuire's not a very good pitcher. This is the second time in the Reds organization. He's doing fine in AAA. He's like 28, 29, 30 years old. I mean, if he gets called up at some point this year, good for him. He gets some big league money. I'd be cool with that. Like I said before, the Reds aren't going anywhere. There is nothing to dream on with that guy. He's not going to somehow turn into something amazing. Probably more of a career minor leaguer, but that's fine. It's okay to be a career minor leaguer, right? And so, yeah, I'm not big on McGuire, but I do have to jump off here. Before I go, though, I just want to say how awesome this is that you all are doing this together. Seriously, there's so much competition out there with people and podcasts and whatnot. And the fact that you all are here doing this together, two of the best podcasts in Reds country, I just think it's awesome. Especially, Pardon the Punctuation, first podcast to ever have me on. Nick Kirby, first podcast to steal me from them. So, a lot of love for both of you all, so I appreciate it.
Easy, Drake. Get your feelings. Get out of here.
I think OJ's 94 Bronco might be Deck McGuire.
I was gonna say that. Is that actually Deck McGuire's burner?
Is Deck McGuire Mark McGuire's
I know is that
son?
Means Clay left. Who is the guy that Clay? I bring this up and I always forget who it was. Clay tweeted at a Reds guy that had left and gone over overseas.
The center
And,
fielder,
Go?
Scott Heineman.
Scott Heineman,
Scott Heineman,
the legend.
So I think Deck McGuire might come after Clay on Twitter after his breakdown.
Cool.
Let-
D-
hold
DFA
on.
him too.
Hold on a second. Deck McGuire has a 6.92 ERA at AAA. Like, what is going on here?
This is
Apparently
definitely
we're
Deck
sleeping on
McGuire.
him.
I remember
Oh, bro,
last week, Joe Mauer was in the chat because we had Joe M asking Twins questions. We got Deck
Mm.
McGuire this week. Yeah.
Real question: is Deck McGuire Mark McGuire's son?
I don't think so. It's just
Okay.
coincidence.
Illegitimately.
I mean, he played for St. Louis Cardinals and Oakland A's, so possibly.
Deck is
Nick,
wa-
your dad is in the chat.
My dad is very upset. He texted me this. Why is your face green?
Why is your face green?
What's up, Papa Kirby? Good to see you again.
He had some Skyline.
Oh, I did too. What'd you have,
Whoa! Are you coming at Skyline now?
He does.
That is
He
neck.
does.
Carlos? Are you coming at Skyline? Don't you know I ate
So
9.5 cheese conies to have Sean Casey on our show?
I did not know that.
I
Well,
like this
that's an
5-on-1
interesting fact.
dynamic on Carlos, though, for his anti-Skyline sins.
I'll say, like, I just got this shirt at Dick's Sporting Goods. It's a Nike red shirt that's supposed to symbolize Skyline Chili. So,
It's smashing Cody's right now.
yeah.
Smash 3 of them
What
right
is
before
it
the show.
about Skyline that you don't like, Carlos?
Yeah, what is it, Carlos? Is it the cheese?
Yeah, Carlos.
Just as well, yeah, that's not chili. The cheese is like, why do you have to put half a pound on it? What is it? Why? And you're like, no, don't zoom on me. I hate that shit. But
You
yeah,
deserve
no,
it. You deserve it.
Skyline is a wet topping. That's what it is. It's like
Man. So,
How
when
dare
Carlos was in town, the Cardinal series, I was like all excited to talk like food with him. And it was like, I was like, yeah, man, like when I go to Texas, I love Torchy's Chacos. He's like, that's commercialized. I'm like, son of a bitch, I tried.
I think Kirby's dad is my favorite person on this podcast right now.
He's just
why, yeah,
trying.
Nick, are you feeling ill? Are you under the weather?
I'm hulking up over here.
Is your ring light just kind of changing like LED colors?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan Castellanos.
I mean,
We're gonna ask him back for the Phillies series. Was that next week or the week after?
Good luck getting him to answer now that his brother doesn't play here. Just saying.
Okay.
All right. That's fine.
Okay, OJ, get out of here. What is this? My guy's all over the place.
I agree with 94 Bronco. What was that?
I have no idea.
Not
It was
here.
Jeff.
Someone TikToking?
It was Jeff. He's gone.
We don't do TikToking on this show unless it's our own segments. Get it right.
Someone check the news. Jeff is gone.
Yeah. All right. Hey, real quick before we get into talking about the Field of Dreams stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this on The Athletic the other day. Friend of the program, C. Trent Rosecrans, put out a projected future lineup of the Reds. I thought it was pretty cool. Get your thoughts on it. I'll go through with it. Catcher, Stevenson. First baseman, Encarnacion Strand. McLean at second. Edwin Arroyo at shortstop. Noel V. Marte at third. An outfield of India, De La Cruz, and Barrero. A DH of Spencer Steer with a rotation of Nick Lodolo, Hunter Green, Graham Ashcraft, Connor Phillips, Andrew Abbott, a setup man of Joe Boyle, and a closer of Alexis Diaz.
That's a 78 win team.
I kind of agree.
In the first half.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's an obsession right now with moving India from second base.
Because he can't play second base.
I mean,
He's bad.
I don't. Okay, I know that you're a super analytic guy, Nick. I get it. But I think it's a lot easier to move one of these new guys coming up to an outfield position than it would be moving India, who's, to my knowledge, never played in the outfield. I know that it's a corner outfield spot, and so there's maybe throw him in left field. A la Winker, he couldn't be any worse than Winker out there, but
I mean,
I don't think the
at least his
option would be-
athleticism. Yeah, athleticism would really help out a lot more than Winger's,
India's
Not so
option
much.
wouldn't be to move to the outfield; it'd be to move to third base.
I think
he came up, right?
I think I've been moving him more to like first base or DH.
He's too small to play first base.
He's like an inch shorter than Votto.
Not the guy that I would want.
Not even
in
close.
DH either.
I mean, you have all these guys that are shortstops that are gifted defensively that I think you would be significantly better off moving India. I mean, unless he makes some major strides. I mean, he's been one of the worst defensive second basemen in baseball the last 2 years. So I think you could immensely improve your defense if you moved him anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, his athleticism is definitely like shown some flashiness, but that's few and far between. I love him. I mean, probably my favorite player on the team. Really enjoy watching him hit, but it's definitely, you definitely see his some plays where it's like he definitely relies on his athleticism to make things happen, but it's few and far between from what he really should be if he's going to be the everyday second baseman of the future.
Yeah, he makes good college plays. He doesn't make like big league plays over there.
Throws a lot of balls away too.
He's 2 inches shorter than Joey Votto.
I just tried to say that, but I was on mute, so I want everybody to know that I had that before Jeff. If you go back and look at the tape and watch my lips, I had that before Jeff. Also for Nick's dad, Joey Votto autograph.
I do think that moving him is probably something that needs to be looked at and addressed. Probably third base, where he came up. I don't know much about his arm necessarily from the outfield, but we suffered through Jesse Winker and his noodle arm. So
yeah, I can't imagine he would be that bad of a left fielder. I mean, at
I
Great
mean,
American Ballpark. I mean, how hard is it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he could obviously make plays out there. I don't know if you get the. I mean, where does he land? Like, where does his bat land him as a left fielder, Nick? Since like Stevenson's bat doesn't really kind of lands him in the middle of first baseman or kind of middle low first baseman.
Yeah, I mean, he probably would be slightly above average, like left fielder. You could also, I mean, you don't also have to like say he's completely removed from second base. He could be like a Max Muncy type where he rotates between second base, first base, DH, where you kind of just have a mix and match and you get him out of the field as much as you can, depending on who's healthy, matchups, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you don't have to like completely take him away, but I think you'd be much better off having McLean or Marte or any of those guys up the middle. I think you're going to save a lot more runs that way.
Plus, like, we hear this every week about like, well, Tyler Stevenson gets hurt, so we need to move from catcher. Like, Jonathan India gets hurt every day. Like, put him in a less contact position, like the outfield.
Yeah.
No, we put Senzel in the outfield, and he gets hurt every day too. So
I don't think it matters where you put Senzel.
Yeah, I think.
Why haven't we DFA'd him yet?
I mean, he's only costing like $2 million right now.
Yeah, it's not like it's. What is with you guys in DFAs? Like, do you like? Do you play? Is this what you do on the show? And you think it's just like
you can trade anybody on the show, right? All right, like you can trade anybody on the show.
Yeah.
When somebody starts irritating Aaron, it's gone.
Get him out of here.
Like Joey Votto's hitting 220 right now. Do you want him DFA'd?
I mean,
no, never. Joey Votto again. He invented baseball.
He was not on my MLB show team anymore. Just saying.
I will say that
how'd you get him to waive the no trade?
I mean, they don't have that on the show. So.
If you go to options, there's a way of forcing a trade.
That's not a thing. You never even bought the show.
I have the show. I have the show from last year.
Okay, Ed.
Do I need to go get it for you right now and show it to you?
Yes.
Did you buy the physical copy?
Yeah, of course I did. You know what I'll buy?
I'm
digital
team
copies.
physical. I'm team physical content.
See, thank you.
So yeah,
I don't have enough room on that hard drive. You know, I bought the smallest hard drive ever for that PS4.
What?
The PS4's got a bigger hard drive than the 5.
Stand in line at GameStop at midnight still?
No,
I stood in line at Best Buy.
Also, there's this wonderful thing where if you pre-order a game on Amazon, it gets to you the day before most of the time. So,
come on, Jeff.
But then you have to deal with the case and the disc.
Oh my goodness! God forbid I have to put a case in a drawer.
What do you do when you want to change the game you're playing? You actually get up and go to the
get my fat butt off the couch and I change the disc.
I'm just waiting for his kids to scratch a disc. Now that they're getting into that age.
One of your kids picks it up and snaps it in half.
then that's coming out of their allowance. Hey, look, if my oldest was old enough was mature enough to save $300 to buy his own Nintendo Switch, there's enough money in there to replace my copy of the show.
I guess it all makes sense. You do still have dial-up internet, apparently.
I do not have dial-up. This is 5G Verizon. We'll talk about that later.
Jeff, when you're dealing with last year's game, and you can get that for like $20 at GameStop used, so you'd be all right.
I got it for $20 on Black Friday at Best Buy.
Sports games are a scam, but we still buy them anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, believe me, I fall for the scam every year. All right, I guess we can get to, obviously, tomorrow being the Field of Dreams game is a really cool occurrence. Nick and I were just recently this week on the 7th inning stretch from the Variety Sports Network. You can check that out on their pages. Cheap plug. And we kind of were asked about, if this is a good thing for baseball. And like, truthfully, I think it's awesome. I like it a hell of a lot more than I like the NFL London games because, if you have home season tickets for your team, you only lose one of 81. You don't lose one of 7. So I dig it. I think it's really cool. I like that they're doing the throwback jerseys. I've had to talk myself out of buying the Votto jersey online multiple times now. Thanks a lot for vacations and babies coming soon, but
Jeff has a hookup for you.
But I don't want like the bootleg one from DH.
We never said it was bootleg. That didn't come out of our mouths. That wasn't.
DHgate has supplied me with very good copies of my Bengals jerseys.
Yeah.
You like to get it, you would have obviously like you probably wouldn't get it until next year's Field of Dreams
right.
game, but
yeah,
like you would have it.
It's fair.
Would have it.
But I digress. Obviously, pretty excited for tomorrow. We get Nick Lodolo on the mound on national TV. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for the game. I mean, I think it should be, be cool to see the Reds, playing on Fox. Not going to probably get a whole lot of those games. This is 2 in a week over the next, year. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that it's Lodolo, get the chance to pitch and kind of make a name for himself tomorrow if he comes out and, pitches a really good game. And, if you saw Joey Votto's Twitter today talking about, how much this game means to him, I think those kind of things are what really is going to, make this game special. And, 10 years from now, we're thinking about old Reds games, we're going on YouTube or whatever. Probably won't even really remember, these teams were in 3rd or 4th or 5th place or wherever they're going to be. It'll just be, I think a cool experience. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea when they started the whole thing. Obviously we wish that the Reds and Cubs were like, battling it out at the top of the division. That's not the case. But it's kind of a nice reprieve from kind of like take ourselves out of the season just for this game to, just enjoy baseball in a setting from a movie that kind of, I think probably, I guess I can't speak for everybody, but like, growing up, it was a movie that I watched, like reading Joey Votto's tweets, today's little tweet thread about, how it meant a lot to him and with him and his dad and that kind of thing. I probably wore out that VHS. I don't think it works anymore at my grandparents' house growing up. And to see the Reds there and participating in it with their throwback jerseys and walking out of the corn and all the extra stuff that goes along with that game. It's similar to like when the All-Star game was here, experience-wise, I think.
I'm going to come out with a crazy opinion about all this. I don't think either of these teams should be in this game. I think they shouldn't announce who's even in this game until the All-Star break. That way you have 2 competitive teams in a game that people actually want to watch. Because I don't know that I'll even watch this game. I don't care about a terrible Reds team playing a terrible Cubs team in a game in the middle of Iowa that no one can get tickets to. I think the whole thing's dumb right now, the way it currently stands. And I don't think that either of these 2 teams should be in this game this year.
Damn, who peed in your Cheerios this morning?
I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense to me. Like,
so how's it going to work logistically? So,
look, man, they were putting together football games in a week during COVID. Logistically,
yeah, but no, they're not doing it at a neutral site.
I don't know, man.
The Reds lost a home game for this too, so I mean they had to kind of prepare for that. It'd be kind of tough to just throw two teams in last minute.
That doesn't even get me started on the fact that 162 is a little too much anyway. But
Eric,
you're a traditionalist, all about the numbers. I get it, but I'm just saying, like I'm here to just.
Those are two different things. Traditionalists and all about the numbers are very different things.
I mean, kinda, but you can be both. You can be both. In any case, I'm just throwing fire on everything right now with all of this. So
I was about to add, I was like, I really wish MLB would do more of like these type of games. Like, let's add like an extra series somewhere else.
Sure, with teams.
Yeah, remember the Yankees and Red Sox had that London game a couple years ago where it was just like a home run derby, basically. That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
is that the one where they put that like it was on like on like a soccer field?
Yeah,
I think it was at Wembley, if I remember correctly.
They had like the T-ball or like wiffle ball style fence in the outfield.
Yeah, the Cubs and Cardinals are going to be doing it next year. They announced it's coming back next year. So
the Cubs are going back again?
No, for the
They're going to London.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cubs and Cardinals are in the London series is coming back next year. So,
okay.
I remember
the Reds did that Mexico City series.
Yeah, I was about to say I'd love to see more things like that. I'd love to see them. I think one thing would be really cool is if they try to do like some replica like old stadiums, and did a couple games and something like that. I saw someone talking about like playing a game at the Hall of Fame, maybe on like induction weekend, like they do in the NFL. I think more of this stuff, the more you could do with this kind of stuff and crazy environments and different stadiums that kind of create some extra intrigue. I'm all for. I wish they'd do more of it.
Is anybody else disappointed?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Is anybody else disappointed that the outfield wall isn't just corn stalks? Like, did they have to put a wall out there? Like, I want to see Joey Votto, not Joey Votto. Obviously, it would be Joey Votto going from first base. But like, I just want to see a guy out there like just running into the cornfield, catching the ball, coming out like, "Hey, I got it, guys."
I feel like Puig would have been great for that.
Puig would have been great for that. Like, all right, guys, I got the ball. Everything will be all right.
It's me, your friend.
Monterrey, Mexico.
What? Where's that?
That's where the Reds.
Oh, yeah, they did have that game a couple years ago.
2019.
But yeah, Carlos, when you played travel ball, did you guys ever play there at Doubleday Field in your travel ball days in Cooperstown?
Yeah. The one in Cooperstown? Yeah, I went there twice. I went there with the Reds organization, and then once I was a member of the Padres. And then I've been to the Field of Dreams after summer ball 1999. I think that was the summer. Yeah, went up there. It was meh. Like, I like the movie and everything, but like being there was just kind of whatever.
Because the outfield wall is at cornfields, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like a little league field that they really didn't take care of, and there's telephone wires running all the way across the field. So,
well, they have two fields right now. Like, they have one.
Now they do, yeah. Now they have that.
They have like that old field, and then the other one's like an actual semi-mini stadium.
They have like the movie set field, and then like the field from the movie, and then it's like when they do those like big like overhead pan shots, like you can see it's up like the road there. In front of the house, and then they have the one that they built for this experience.
That Doubleday Field looks pretty sweet. I'd enjoy a ball game there, I think.
It's pretty cool. Only place I've ever been to a game I saw a left-handed catcher.
Especially
they did a home run derby there. Oh my God. Like, Adam Dunn was hitting it off of people's roofs, every single one. Like, because the fence was like 235 feet. It was ridiculous. It was so small.
Like a church right out
maybe not that small, but it was. I mean, he was literally hitting it off of people's homes.
Aleo Lopez can pitch it, and that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there you go.
And the conditions were brutal, so they brought up like all the minor leaguers. Like, as soon as they get one bat, they're out of the game because they're gonna get a foul ground ball. It's gonna hit them in their face. Like, it's terrible.
Like, the field conditions were terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really so bad.
Not too far from Niagara Falls.
What?
I don't think you're too far from Niagara Falls there, are you?
I'm confused. What does it have to do with the field?
Because it's the water, the rain travels the thing. No,
Was that
not me.
Cooperstown?
Am I crazy?
Cooperstown's like 3 hours from. Niagara
Okay,
Falls.
I've been both in like a week when I was like 10. So to me, they're like right around the corner from each other.
I'm like, what the hell did I just miss?
My bad. My bad. On me. On me. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be cool. I understand where Aaron's coming from, but it's a little difficult to kind of, yes, logistically make that happen within a few weeks, like especially on a neutral site. So
Teams have off days. You can move some stuff around. Just be liquid. It's fine.
Did it real well during COVID season.
No, I'm saying like you're not going to be able to get fans there. Oh, 2 weeks, my team's
can't
going to play
right
there.
now
Okay,
anyway.
I'm going to go.
There's only 2,000 tickets. You can't go anyway.
It's all the rich folk.
And you have to live in the state of Iowa to even like be in the lottery for
It's
tickets.
so expensive to see that game that I don't even think Bob Castellini can make it to that game.
Oh,
That was pretty good, Ed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think like the majority, like the lottery tickets, and like you have to be an Iowa resident, and then each team gets like an allotment that they Ralph, because there's only like 15,000 seats there or something. Look it up, Ed.
yeah, that's probably.
I got you.
15,000.
It might be too many.
I think it's like
And
4,000.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah, I was
really
gonna say, I
that-
think
is it really
15,000
that
seems a
small?
lot.
It's like nothing. So who cares when fans are there? No one's fans of the Reds and Cubs right now anyway. They're all terrible.
Capacity 9,791.
Right in the middle.
Way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Damn.
it's a neat spectacle on TV. That's for sure. I did
Oh,
see
wait a
somebody.
minute. Sorry, that's Doubleday Field. That you wanted the Field of Dreams game, didn't you?
Classic Ed. Yeah, look that one up, Ed. And now I did see a hot take on Twitter, nickel like this. Somebody said that the camera, so like last year the camera was right behind Aaron Judge, right when the Yankees came out and through the field. They said that it should not be okay.
I said 2,000.
So they said it shouldn't be, the camera shouldn't be behind Joey Votto. It should be behind Kyle Farmer coming out of the
Because
out
it's
of
a
the corner.
cornfield.
Is Costner going to reprise his role and just do the same shtick every year?
Probably.
That's terrible too.
I can't
I
wait.
mean,
You
he
can
hasn't
only
done a
do it one
baseball
time.
movie. He hasn't done a baseball movie in about 20 years. So, he's got to stay in the baseball love somehow.
Well, he probably counts on whatever that appearance fee money is too.
Yeah, there's that.
Buck Farmer's got to get in this game too, right?
No,
Yeah.
Buck's still on the
Yeah.
active roster, isn't he?
he doesn't need to be. No.
I saw Joey's
Yeah,
mic'd for this
Aaron
game.
already DFA'd him, so
Get him out of
Yes.
here.
yes. Who for the Cubs is there?
Ian Happ.
Ian Happ,
Bearcat.
Bearcat.
Aren't the Reds blacked out in Iowa?
Probably.
I don't think they're one of the 6 teams, but this is a national TV game, so you should be good.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that the Sandlot Field still exists?
See, that would be a kind of
We
a
could do
cool,
a game
like,
there.
Yeah.
Have like some weeds growing out there that the ball could roll into in the
Pre-party at the
outfield.
pool.
That's
Maybe
where.
Party at the
That's
pool
where
with
teams.
Wendy
That's where
Peppercorn
teams-
be there.
That's,
Just
where
wild
teams,
dogs running around.
As long as James Earl Jones
You
is
better
there,
watch your
I'm
ass.
in.
That dog's coming.
That's where
You could
teams
sell-
like the
you could
Reds
sell
and the
pro-
Cubs should play.
You could sell a suite in the treehouse in right field.
Oh, you could.
Yeah.
And all the players have to wear PF flyers.
Oof. A lot of
Watch
ankles be
out.
broken that game.
And one team, they don't get to wear uniforms. They got to wear jeans and whatever they can find.
Blue
That's
button
perfect for
ups.
Cincinnati. That's perfect
Agreed.
for the Reds.
Agreed.
All right, dudes. This has been a fun hour. Really thank the PTP crew for hanging with us tonight and shooting the
We
shit
done?
with us. What
Yeah,
else
we-
is there to talk about?
We don't do 6-hour shows.
You
Yeah,
want to talk
we're
about
not-
wrestling on this show?
No, we only cover one sport, so
Yeah. We're not Joe
That's my
Rogan.
wrestling minute.
But yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Clay, for coming and hanging out with us. Thanks to the PTP guys for agreeing to do a dual cast with us. We definitely appreciate the time. We'll be back next week. Hope you guys enjoy Field of Dreams tomorrow. And don't forget, we're brought to you by BetOnline. Go to BetOnline, use BLEAV50 and get that 50% welcome bonus. See you, everybody.